were the #1 lace manufacturer in the world. So we had about 220 lace machines at one point, a little over 200 employees, 100,000 square feet business buildings, one in South Florida, Boca Raton, one in New Hampshire, and we dominated. But it was time for us to move on. Things had changed. The Far East was dominating. Amazon really.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. As always, I have an incredible guest with me today, and I know I always say that, but it's because it's always true. And before I introduce this gentleman to you, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you who have been leaving comments, reviews, and likes on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and to those who have been watching on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. And I want to ask you for a favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some type of insight, a revelation, a skill, some information, or the inspiration to go out and take action and keep on moving forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 friends. I know that might seem like a big thing to ask for, but share this with 10 friends. Share it on Facebook, share it on social media, share the link on your wall, make a post about it, or if this resonates or whatever. Share with 10 friends, since this is how we grow. This is how we're able to impact more people, reach more people, to motivate, inspire them, and bless them so that they can change their lives. And today, I have Adam Jablin. Is that Jablin?
Jablin.
Jablin. Yeah, it's some Mexican, man. I apologize for that.
Okay.
So I have Adam Jablin, and he's a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and high-level mentor and coach. In 2006, Adam got clean and sober, which unleashed many gifts he had hidden inside. And during the most successful years of his company, Adam was in the grips of alcoholism and addiction. He knows what it's like to be powerless. His family intervened, and Adam's spiritual journey began. And while running a multiple million dollar company, Adam dedicated himself to helping others and showing them the path out of their problems and into the solution. Later, Adam helped sell the business for 9 figures with his loved ones, and now he wants to help you. And Adam teaches you the way to become the hero of teaches people to become the way to become a hero of their own lives. So Adam, thank you very much for being here, man. I really appreciate it. And you are welcome.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. And it was a pleasure speaking to you before the podcast and getting to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, it was, man. Thanks. And the first thing that I, ask my guests to do is I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Well, wow. In 75 seconds or less, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that at one point I was, let's say, in a family business that was like the mafia. There was no choices. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is what our family name stands for. And I did that. And I did it well, but I never had a sense of identity. I was always I always felt like I had to compete with my father and grandfather. And in getting clean and sober, I found my own way of running a company, my own skills, my own superpowers, my own enthusiasm, my own leadership qualities. And when we sold it, I was able to take that mindset and that faith and that perseverance and start my own coaching business where I help people do the same.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So which company did you sell? Did you sell the family business or?
Yeah, we were the #1 lace manufacturer in the world. So we had about 220 lace machines. At one point, a little over 200 employees, 100,000 square feet business buildings, one in South Florida, Boca Raton, one in New Hampshire. And we dominated and we dominated. But it was time for us to move on. Things had changed. The Far East was dominating. Amazon really killed brick and mortar stores. And when we saw an opening, we took it. And it was time for me to launch the Hero Project.
That was your chance. Cool. That was your chance. Awesome. So so this addiction, right? And this addiction, alcoholism, did this come from like you feeling sort of trapped, maybe? I don't know how you would describe it, or you like you mentioned right now, not having a sense of identity or your own sense of
all of that, actually.
Okay.
That's a great question. Yeah, man, all of that. Well, first off, I think it's important to say that I loved being produced by alcohol, right? Like I loved how it made me. I loved drinking. I loved partying. But I never felt like I was living my purpose. I felt like I was doing what my family wanted me to do. I was doing what the family needed me to do. And I did feel trapped. Now, the trap was a blessing. It provided a beautiful lifestyle, but it didn't allow me to be me.
Yeah.
And success can be tricky like that sometimes, because when you're able to pay your bills and you're able to feed your family and you're able to be a gentleman, but you're not happy inside and you're not fulfilled inside.
It's a dangerous place to be. Oh, there. So, man, so you could be a modern gentleman, right? Have the financial freedom and have basically everything, right, you could ever want. But if you're not happy inside, right, that could be a very dangerous place to be in.
Very dangerous. So I was filling myself up with drinking and drugs, to feel okay, to feel worthy, to feel some sort of relief, and that I can make it to the next day to do the same over and over and over. And I would beat myself up with gratitude. I don't know if you've ever done that, Alex, but I would beat myself up with gratitude. I should be grateful. Everything is so wonderful. I have the money. I have the house. I should be happy. I should, look at all these wonderful blessings around me. I would beat myself up because I wasn't living my purpose.
Yeah. Damn. So man, do you think that's why people like drink and do drugs, because they don't feel like maybe good enough, or they are not like stepping into their purpose?
I think a lot of times it's a double. Well, first off, it's a very broad question. But I do think that it's a combination of, one, you like the effect, right? The feeling, combined with a part of you doesn't feel good enough. And when you put that together and you start feeling good enough because you like the effect, it goes, it just starts becoming so it doesn't have to be my exact story. You may not feel good enough because you're overweight. You may not feel good enough because you're comparing to people on social media. You may not be good enough because you think your podcast should be up here and you're still doing whatever. You could feel not enough about yourself. And then you start drinking, right? And you start feeling okay. You can have a child at a young age. You're nervous. You don't feel good enough about yourself. You start to, there's a lot that goes into it. But I do believe that at the core, it's a feeling of you don't feel like you're enough.
Which is the fear that, most humans have, and the fear that messes us all up, right? So, yeah, like I grew up feeling like not feeling good enough, man. Like I was treated like if I wasn't good enough. And I actually just had this breakthrough a couple of months ago that for some reason I keep on going back to unconsciously. Like I feel like I'm having this tug of war. Like I'm like my unconscious mind, like it's like a like a rope, and I have a grip of it. Right? But then if I like let go, if I let loose, I go back to my unconscious patterns. And one of those unconscious patterns that I project onto the world is this. Like I was treated, the way that I was showed love by my mom, my mother, is by being treated as if I was a burden, right? And then by being treated like I wasn't good enough. Like I could never do anything good enough. Like if I got an A, I could have gotten an A plus. If I cleaned the house, there was a spot that was missing. And I was never treated good enough, right? Like, and that was how my mom showed me love, right? By treating me like a burden and by not being like showing me that I wasn't good enough. And then my wife, her parents were loving. Her parents were very loving to her, and she rejected their love, right? So now we live like now we go to this unconscious pattern of projecting that to each other. So I go to this unconscious pattern of trying to find little things that of why she's not good enough, because that's how I'm expressing love to her. And then she's addicted to that because that's rejection. She tries to give me love. I try to find something out of why she's not good enough. And she is running that same pattern. She used to reject her parents' love. Now I'm rejecting her love when she's trying to give it to me by coming up with reasons why she's not good enough. And we just like repeating this pattern. And I'm really aware of it. I became aware of it like months ago. But every now and then I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing this again. Right. So like you're like this feeling of, why was I saying this? Well, your feeling of like not being good enough, right, came from feeling trapped, right? So then you went on a good path, right? Had everything, and you should have felt grateful. You should have, could have, would have. You had everything that you needed, right? That you whatever wanted, right? 9-figure exit, and you should have felt grateful. So you were beating yourself up with gratitude. So then what happened from there, man?
Well, the drinking and the drugging got worse. I was always into fitness, and I wasn't able to, what scared me was when I wasn't able to control my body. When my body would shut down, or I would start rolling my eyes and back of my head, or passing out, and that really spooked me out. But I still took it to I took it all the way. I took it to alcohol and drugs didn't work, and then I just kept trying a little bit more. And I got myself into an intervention, and that's where my hero's journey began.
All right. So what is the hero's journey? Tell me about that.
Well, the hero's journey is it's something that was discovered or written about by Joseph Campbell.
Okay.
But you'll see these themes, everything from biblical times, like to Christ, to the Matrix, to Star Wars, to every superhero you've ever seen, which is the character, the avatar, the individual has a call to action, has something that's calling them forward. And there's a lot of anxiety, worry, and obstacles that are going to come up because it's going to require a lot of change. And on this journey to adventure, they find a mentor, they go through the training, the challenges, the hardships, but they start to discover this inner courage inside. So they have this mentor and this call to action, and they leave, right? They leave the home to go find their identity, their purpose, to conquer their inner fears, their inner demons, what's been holding them back. And you could see this in every movie and every story you've ever read. Well, eventually that person goes to slay the dragon, to fight Darth Vader, to confront the, Neo confronting Mr. Smith, to, you just go on and on and on, Christ, confronting everybody and going to the cross. It goes on and on and on. But what happens is, in every hero's journey, after that hero displays the greatest amount of courage, right, and they become the hero of their own lives, there's a return. They come home. They share what they've done with others, right? They help save people. They help they go back, returning to where they once came from, be it Batman from Gotham, Superman from from Metropolis, or Christ back to Israel. However, whatever story you want, they come back and they start helping others and trying to save others.
Got it. And that's what you went through.
That's what I went through, from alcoholism and addiction to facing all of my fears, all of my insecurities, my alcoholic dependency, my drug abuse, my unhealthy dependencies on outer world things, including money, really, really feeding the spirit, the soul, not constantly needing outside approval, outside significance, taking a look at who I really was, coming out the other end and sharing with other people how I did it. And I was blessed because the way I did it was very attractive. It was very attractive to other people. So I started helping people right away. And before I knew it, I didn't realize this would happen, but it was so attractive that I started helping celebrities, professional athletes, politicians in Washington. It something inside of me was blossoming, and it gave me the confidence and the enthusiasm and the joy that I never had running a family business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I brought that into the family business and made it through my personality, through my spirit, through who I was. And after 15 years of that, 15 years, it was time for me to realize, wow, this thing that I'm doing, it's affecting a lot of people. Like, it's really something special. And I started the Hero Project.
What do you mean after 15 years though?
So I am coming up on 16 years clean and sober.
Okay.
Right? So the Hero Project really started 2 years ago, but we sold the business about 2 years ago. So I had a big chunk of time to hone all of my skills. You know what I mean? Cool. Which is why the Hero Project took off. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I came out, I was the new kid on the block, but so many people knew who I was in recovery, in the recovery community, that when I decided to come out and do this, I had a lot of testimonials. I had a lot of people backing me because I had been doing it for so long.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you mean. Okay. Awesome. Got it. So, and then, all right. And then you got, 16 years. So in 2006, right? That's when you got, sober and clean.
So July 14th, I'll be 16 years clean and sober.
And then that's when you started your spiritual journey, right? And I mentioned at the beginning before hitting record, actually, how, I've always, like, I never go on social media. And when I do, it's usually to see my own stories. and then, but on the side of my stories, you're always there, right? And I always see you like, meditating, drinking some cup of something. So in 2006, that's when your spiritual journey began, which is, like, developing myself spiritually is something that I began to do recently. Actually, man, let me tell you this quick story. Last year, I track my calories, my emotions in this big ass calendar, right? But by Jesse Itzler, big ass calendar. That's how it's called.
Jesse.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. And I track my calories, not my calories, my emotions, right? Like, I color it. I color every single square based on the colors. Have you seen that little triangle that tells you about the emotional vibration and frequencies? Right. So I use those colors. And like, red is anger, and purple is like shame and guilt, and black is like depressed and all of that. Right. So, and then green is positive, and blue is on fire. And last year, out of every 30 days of the month, I would spend 28 of those days, either, purple or black or red or whatever, right? I would spend them like, having a really bad time, not having a good time. And then I started developing myself spiritually, starting to learn that I'm good enough, started to learn that I was born worthy, that I was born with a gold medal, and, starting to like expand my awareness. And this month in January, I had about 20 days that were not green or blue. in February, I had about 15 days that were, purple, about 15. The rest were like green or blue. And then this past couple of months, man, I've been having like a few snippets of purple here and there, which is like doubts and a little bit of, frustration. There's snippets of purple here and there, but most of my days are now green and purple, and I attribute to that my spiritual development, like getting in tune with who I am, like getting into who I am, getting into like my gifts and my greatness and letting that blossom, just like you mentioned right now, and developing myself spiritually. So I'm really interested in that journey of yours, and to see how, like, what I can selfishly take from that, and of
Please.
course what anyone listening can take as well from that. So would you mind walking us through that journey and describing your personal development and growth? I mean,
Absolutely. Real
spiritual.
fast. Do you mind me asking, Alex, how old you are?
21.
Wow, man. I got to tell you, I'm 46. So I'm really proud of you. I mean, you're really, really advanced, man. Really advanced. You should
Thank
be
you,
very
bro.
proud of yourself.
I am.
Good. Good.
And you look amazing, man. Like, I've seen your stories and you look absolutely amazing. So 46, I come from a culture in which, like, at 40, you're done, right? Like Mexicans, most Mexican people that I know and that, that I'm close to, at 40, they're like done. They have a belly, they drink, and all they do is watch TV when they go home, when they get home at 5 from work. So,
Yo, man, I'm just starting.
yeah, I know. It
I'm
feels
just
like
getting
it.
warmed up.
It looks like it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but look, so I'll give you some stories of how this happened. I remember the first time I said I'm an alcoholic and addict in rehab. And it was like this 600-pound gorilla jumped off of my shoulders. And within seconds of this relief and understanding what I am, it was like, well, now what? Now what? Like, how do I live? And I'll never forget, I went the next day to a lecture by the man that saved my life, named Dr. John Diamond, on spirituality. And he explained to me that there's such thing as healthy spirituality and unhealthy spirituality. But the most important thing in this was that we are all born with all the spirituality you're ever going to need.
Damn.
You can't get more spiritual. Okay. It's not impossible. So becoming more spiritual is like saying, I'm going to get another bicep or another third arm, right? Another tricep, no. What you can do with the muscles that you have is fill them up, make them bigger, faster, stronger, but you can't get more of it. This is the same body that I'm going to die in. I can't get more of it. I can make what I have bigger, healthier, stronger, more stable, but I can't get more, right? Well, it's the same thing with your spirituality. You're born with all the spirituality you're ever going to need, but it's how healthy is that spirituality. So we do things every day to nourish our spirituality the same way we would nourish the body. And the opposite wise, you can tell when somebody is unhealthy in the body. Well, you can also tell when somebody's unhealthy spiritually. So when somebody's spiritually awake, spiritually alive, a man fully alive, a woman fully alive, they look you in the eye the way you've been speaking to me. They speak from a place of celebration. Like before you and I jumped on the podcast and you want to tell me your story. They easily find their words. English is your second language, and you just learned it 3 years ago, and you speak like this. You're spiritually fit. Other people, they can't find their word. English is their first language. They can't find their words. They don't want to look you in the eye. There's well, right? There's like a lack of presence. There's a lack of certainty. There's a lack of life flow. So spirituality is healthy or unhealthy. The idea is to get healthy spiritually. Within this journey, I sit there and I go to meet this guy named Father Ron, a Catholic priest. I'm a Jew from New Jersey, okay? I'm sitting with the Catholic priest, and he's like, Adam, do you believe in God? And I'm like very intimidated. And I just give him some mumbo jumbo of like, yeah, I believe in God and, law of attraction and karma. He's like, okay, calm down. And he goes, please put your arm out. So I put my arm out like this. And Alex, he goes like this. And he touches my arm like that. And he goes, do you see what I did there? So I look at my arm. And I look at the Father. I look at my arm. And I'm like, Father, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he does it again. He goes, Adam, do you see what I did there? I look at my arm. I look at the Father. I'm like, when I get uncomfortable, I use humor, right? So I'm like, Father, I'm Jewish. Maybe there's a disconnect here. He does it again. He goes, Adam, you see what I left on your arm that time? And I'm like, Father, I heard about you guys. I don't know. And he turns off the lights, right? And he puts on a UV light. He turns off and puts on, and as he turns the UV light on, I see all these glowing fingerprints on my arm. When he turns off the lights and puts it, and he goes, Adam, do you think that you could believe in a power all around you that you can't see, taste, touch, none of the 5 basic senses, that has been loving you, taking care of you, guiding you, and brought you to me to heal? And I'm looking at these glowing fingerprints, right? And I'm like, Father, I can believe. I'm already seeing something that wasn't there a second ago. He turns the lights back on, they disappear. I'm like, no, Father, do it again. So he does it again, right? And this Father Ron, this Catholic priest, took this Jew from Jersey and downloaded him into the matrix. I understood like, you can believe and have faith in something that you can't see, that you can't taste, that you can't touch. I can't explain this to you, Alex. I can't explain how I'm talking to you right now. I can't explain Zoom. I can't explain electricity. I can't explain to you how airplanes are using radar sonar right now to land and they're not even looking at where they're going. I can't explain to you how boats know where they're going in the ocean. I can't explain to you how whales are speaking to each other under the ocean. I can't explain to you text messages. All I can tell you is there's vibrations and there's power and there's a higher power, because some great power took the desire and the need to drink and drug every day and removed it from me.
Sorry for the interruption. If you're an aspiring, established coach, course creator, author, and speaker, I want to extend an invitation to check out my free training on the podcast Cloak Track Framework by clicking on the link in the description of this podcast. On this training, you're going to learn how combining podcasting with a rare concept that very few people know about called the Cloak Track can help you build a multi-million-dollar network of successful people who can become your clients, put you in front of hundreds of your ideal clients with your message, coaching, courses, and books, help you become a best-selling author, get you booked to speak on stages, or even making an extra $237,600 in the next 6 months. Click on the link of the description of this podcast to learn about the 4 simple steps to make this work. Step number 1 is alignment. Aligning who you're trying to be, what you're trying to do, your goals and purpose with building your podcast so that podcasting is a vehicle that helps you achieve your goals. Step number 2 is leveraging the Cloak Track to find an unlimited supply of your ideal podcast guest. Step number 3 is leveraging the Cloak Track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4 is the content machine, which is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. These are the 4 steps to making the podcast Cloak Track Framework work, and I'm not going to hold anything back on this training. So click on the link in the description of this podcast, go and check it out. And once you've done that, if you feel like this would help, we also have a complimentary, free, absolutely free alignment call to get you started and show you exactly how to implement everything. Get access to the training right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
Then it was my job, right? It wasn't going to be all on this power. It was my job to do certain things, implement certain ways of life to keep the gift that I've been given. So things like prayer, things like meditation, things like helping another person, right? They asked Jesus, what are the 2 main commandments? He answered in 3. They said, Rabbi, what are the two main commandments? One was love God with all your heart, all your might, and all your soul. The second was love your brother as you love yourself. The third meaning is you have to love yourself. So if you don't like yourself, you're going to treat other people like shit. Love thy brother as thy love thyself. Very easy to understand why there's so much disconnect and so many wars. It's a very simple law and very easy to understand why all people want to argue against God when you see what's happening. But if you don't like yourself, trust me, it'll come out. It'll come out on your wife. It'll come out on your kid. It'll come out on your friends. It'll come out. Right? So I'm learning all this stuff. Hey man, I'm a high-end businessman making lace for his family business, and I'm being taught all of this, right? So what I thought was the worst thing in the world, being intervened and going to a rehab center, was the greatest gift. Everything that I thought was flipped upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on this journey. I had no idea at the time it was the hero's journey. I always loved Superman. The day I was born, I was put in the S. The day I was born, right? I always loved Superman. I always wanted to be Superman. The ending of my book is my father and I together, and us. My dad was a tough cowboy, man. Like when I say cowboy, I don't mean that as an adjective. My dad rides the rodeo, has horse, like he's a tough guy.
Okay.
And at the end of my book, my father and I were pushing my kids in the swings. He said, Adam, you're finally like Superman. I didn't know what he meant. I was like, what do you mean by that? He goes, you thought Superman was about the muscles and the powers and the flying. He goes, you know what Superman does? And I looked at him and said, what's that? He goes, he saves lives. So Alex, that's my mission. My mission is to help people. Go through their hero's journey, is to save them from the pain and the suffering and the hardships that they're going through, and to realize that it's not going to be tracking your macros. It's not even going to be tracking your emotions. It's not going to be tracking. It's a spiritual solution.
Okay. Well, can you describe what this spiritual solution is?
Sure. Well, I'll try to describe it in a way that doesn't get overly religious or overly complicated. But it's a way of letting go of doubts, anxiety, concerns, worries, making sure that you take care of yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that you realize when you're taking care of what's the spirit inside the vessel here, this is just a vessel, that now you're going to have more energy to give to your wife, to your children, to your people around you. And then to not be selfish and to do that, to do random acts of kindness, not to make your whole life about you, but to make your whole life about us. So as much as I agree with every one of my teachers, mentors, Jesse being one of them, even us tracking our emotions can be the me. Right? Eventually, it's how did I make other people feel today? When you start doing that, now you're going to there's a different realm where other people are at. So it's really about improving other people's lives. That's why I love being a coach. There's a lot of people in this space. It's become a very old space, but there's a lot of people that like the attention and the pictures and you know what I mean? And that's great. And that's all good. For me, that's just marketing. My juice is when you really see somebody light up inside and their eyes open and they get it. Because people are hurting out there. People are suffering. So to answer your question, when you get the spirit right, I'll give you an example. Spirit's a beautiful thing. It doesn't always have to be some kumbaya sitting on a, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, whomever sitting on a mountain. There could be a winning spirit. You go play basketball with Michael Jordan, there's a winning spirit. You go play with Kobe Bryant, there's a winning spirit. It's a spirit. There's something within. Right? It's within. No one's going to be able to teach you to play basketball that much better just getting on the court. But if you're playing with them, you're picking up on an energy they have. You're picking up on a vibration, a confidence. There's a spirit, a winning spirit. There's a spirit to finances. There's a spirit to certain movies you see. Sometimes you walk out and you're like, woo! Everyone's down right now. Like, I think people are loving Top Gun. You walk out with a spirit of like, oh my God, right? And there are other movies you walk out and you're like, oh. So spirit, it's not tangible. I can't show it to you. But at the same time, I can't show you energy either.
Exactly. But that's all we are.
I can't show you the vibrations and the laws that are making us talk on Zoom right now. When I was a kid, this shit would look like the future. I mean, I was a kid in the 80s. This is Star Wars shit we're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. So man, so if you can and then it's pretty lame to say this, right? But like, it's not like one thing, like it's never one thing. But if you could chop it down to one thing, if you can nail it down to one thing, what you said right now that what lights you up is when you see this face in people of it clicked, right? They get it. So what is one thing that I have to get? What is it that I have to get?
You ready?
Yeah.
Very easy question. Very easy question to answer. Very hard to do.
Okay.
So Alex, let's say you were asking me, Adam, what is it? What's the one thing? What is it? Right? Adam, tell me, what's the one thing? Everything you just talked about, what's the one thing? Give me the answer. So you ready?
Mm-hmm. Love.
Even that's a little corny.
Okay.
Right? Think about it. Love is so, you learn love from your mom telling you you're not good enough. Your wife learned love by too much love. And you love each other very, very much. So love is an action, in my opinion. Right? Love is a choice. But if you wanted me to say what would it be for me to answer this question, I would have to say to be open.
To be what? I didn't get you.
Open.
Open?
Open.
Open to receiving?
Open to receiving, open to learning, open to new ideas, open to faith, open to the idea that there may just be a God, open to spirituality, open to learn, open to love, open. Have an open heart, an open mind. Be open. When you're closed, you have a closed heart and a closed mind. It's my way. I got to do this. This is my podcast. It stands for this. My team better do fucking this. My wife better do this. You're closed. It's mine, my ideas, me. Closed. It's my religion, my faith. Your faith is wrong. My way is right. Whoa, now we're starting to talk about wars.
Yeah.
Stay open. Open. It's CrossFit. No, it's bodybuilding. No, it's swimming. No, it's running. No, it's endurance. No, it's vegan. No, it's paleo. No, it's keto. No, you can start wars. Stay open.
Holy shit, man, that saves lives.
That's the Hero Project.
Awesome, man. Like, I'm gonna like print that word and put it in my wall, and like go on a journey on learning how to stay open.
Right? Open.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. And don't get me wrong, I love Jesse. Right? But he's teaching people like you. What you probably didn't realize is you're a quick learner. You're a very quick study. What if you started tracking how you made people feel rather than how you feel?
Well, first I have to fill my cup. Well, maybe now I can start to track that, because now I feel good, right? And now I can start to make other people feel good, because if I didn't feel good, how can I?
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. No doubt about it. You do have to fill your cup first, right? You have to fill your cup first. But then we have to look at, what does that really mean? Right? Because listen, I'm 46 years old. I'll put my body against anybody. I'll put my energy against anybody. I'll put my enthusiasm against anybody. I'll put my speaking abilities against anybody. I'll put my drive against everybody. But still, even with that, I need at probably about 2.5 to 3 hours every day just to stay at it. Just to stay at it. So those are 3 hours that are selfish. Okay? Mind, body, and spirit. Let's say I sleep for 6 or 7 hours. Let's go, that's 10 hours. Fair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3 hours selfish, 7 hours sleep. Could be less, but let's go 7. It's a good round number. It's not 8 full hours of sleep, but it's not 6, 7, right? So now I'm rested, mind, body, and spirit. I have 14 hours out of the day to track my emotions. I still have majority of the fucking day about me. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's all about me, God help us.
Yeah, exactly, right?
God help us. You know? That 10 hours is enough. That's rest for the body. I get to pray, meditate, exercise, hydrate, organize, right? I still have 14 hours to build business, to be with my children, to serve others, to build content, to create, to enjoy, to love, to explore, to read, to stay open.
Awesome.
How did I feel? And don't get me wrong, I'll give Jesse a kiss on the lips. We've spoken on the phone several times. Jesse knows I love him. He's helping a certain amount of people get to a certain point. But Jesse will be the first one. Jesse is as altruistic as they get. Jesse does not need to be doing the things that he does. He's got the money, he's got the fame, and he takes people into his house. He does these things, these events. He hosts them. Sometimes he doesn't even make money on it. And you want to know why he does all of this? Because it makes him feel good to serve others. He's not sitting there tracking his own fucking emotions all day. He's trying to bring people up to a certain level so then they can get to that next level.
Got it. Cool.
So you want to know how I know if this is a good podcast? Not by how I feel. I'm fucking crazy. I'm never good enough. I'm never good enough. How do I make you feel? How did the audience feel? Did I give something that you can work with? Did I give something substantial? Did I deliver? Did I make you feel like, wow, I spoke to Adam, I learned something today? You know, hey, you want to know what? I've spoken to 137 people. So many people repeated, they said this and this and this and this. I heard something new today. I grew. If I did that, if I provided that, I did a good job. If I'm going to rate me and how I felt, I'm never good enough. I'm a perfectionist. I'm competitive. I'm constantly in my head. That's not healthy.
Awesome, man. I really loved it. And I did. Yeah, you made me feel amazing. I did get some amazing things that I'm going to implement, man. So thank you for that. And it's 5:30, my time, and we are out of time. But I didn't get to ask those 5 questions that I always ask at the end of every single interview. But I respect your time, so I just want to know.
I can go. I can keep going.
Cool. Well, I have 5 questions, man.
Go ahead.
The first one is, if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Stop worrying so much.
Okay. That's it. Awesome. Yeah, I like it. Stay open. Mindset. What is a mindset shift that you've had recently, that you can share, that you think is contributing to your success?
That I used to have a belief that everything was about cause and effect. In order to get X, I had to do Y. In order to get successful, I have to do this. In order to do this, I have to grind. I have to push. And what I had to realize was you're able to change the cause. So there is the law of cause and effect, but you can go to a higher reality where not everything is grind, push, pull, break. You know what I mean? You can actually be in a flow of life. So what I would say is my mindset is more open, blessing. Because if everything's X and Y, I have to do X in order to get Y, that means nobody could ever gift me anything. Let's say somebody wanted to give me $1 million. I told the universe I can't accept it.
Because you got to do X in order to get $1 million.
I have to do X in order to get Y. That's how my subconscious is wired. I have to do this in order to get them. Well, if I believe that, then everything in my life is going to show me that.
And you only have as much as you're capable of producing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. And stay open, basically.
Stay open.
Map. Do you have any advice for people who may need or lack clarity for their life?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in prayer, meditation, and journaling, and doing them as fast as possible.
What do you mean?
So in order to actually really enjoy something, you have to start doing it.
Okay.
So in the beginning, I would say, here's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's it. I want you to meditate for 2 minutes. I want you to pray for 1 minute. It's probably going to be about 45 seconds when you're done with the prayer. And I want you to take a notebook out and just journal, like anything that's on your mind. And then that's it. That's it. And do that for 30 days straight. After that, we can build to 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We can actually develop a practice where you're like, this is a beautiful way of life. But in the beginning, in and out, build the consistency. In and out. Show up.
Cool. Awesome. I like that. So that's the 3, the meditation, prayer, and journaling.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right? Because prayer is asking and talking to God. Meditation, let's say, is listening to God. Journaling is observing. Right? Journaling is observing what's going on within ourselves.
Damn, I just learned another thing. Praying, I don't pray, man. I just meditate. I don't like. I feel like I don't know how to pray. I don't know.
Oh, you could just talk to God in your own language, in your own way. God, help me be a better man. God, show me what's right. God, allow me to be the best husband and daddy I can today. God, please allow me to have a kick-ass Modern Gentleman podcast. God, please, just asking for help and for guidance and protection. It doesn't have to be from the Bible.
Cool. All right. Praying, talking to God, meditating, listening, right, to what comes back, and then journaling, right? Like actually,
right? When you're journaling, it's really self-observation.
Okay. Awesome. Mind to map motion. So what is one habit that you have, Adam, that you think is contributing to your success? One habit.
Consistency.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that.
Yeah, consistency.
Can you give me an example, just like for the audience, just so that we can put it into perspective?
Yeah, of course. Look, I know my physical and my human limitations, and I know I'm not Tony Robbins, and I know I'm not Michael Jordan, and I know I'm not this person. I know I'm not Oprah, but I am Adam, and I show up. So if I show up every day consistently, it builds momentum. So that momentum, I don't need to be all those people, because the energy behind me is it's not even pushing me, to be honest. Something is pulling me forward. It's pulling, right? So, but it's by showing up. So if I show up 2 days and then I don't show up 5 days, I always like to use the gym, because I feel like it's very easy to understand. If you go 2 days out of the 7 days of the week in the beginning, building your body, you're probably not going to look that good. It will be better than no days. It will be better than no days. But if you go consistently, you build little bits at a time, just a little bit at a time. So if you're only going a little bit at a time, right? So here we go, little bit. Little, 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 little.
Consistently.
Unfortunately, with human beings, when it's a rocket, I've seen way too many people fall at the same time. Like American Idol, maybe, or people that get famous or anything too fast comes down crashing, right? But to really be successful, it takes those little actions every day. And what's sad is when you're in my mind, or maybe like your mind is, you don't see it because it's so little. You want the rocket ship.
Yeah.
Right?
Now. You want it easy, and you want a big prize, right?
I don't want to be talking to Adam Jablin. I want fucking Tony Robbins on my podcast. Of course you do. But to get to Tony, you're going to have to do the reps, get people like Adam Jablin, and then you're going to get more and more notice, and that's when it happens. Cool. Right? Those little, like this, what you're doing right now, just little, right?
Or the fact that I've showed up every single day. Look at this.
Exactly.
Right. So, yeah, man. Mindset map, motion, measure. What do you think about measuring and tracking? So I'm very curious about what you think about measuring and tracking.
I think there's a time and place for it, and I feel like if you don't track your progress, you have nothing to measure against. But I do think that if you have a mind like mine, you can get let's say it's called paralysis by analysis, right? So if you're tracking every calorie, tracking every macro, tracking every micronutrient, tracking every dollar, tracking every emotion, you can feel trapped. So what I like to do is a little bit more general, a little bit more broader, right? I'll look at my finances once a week, not 6 times a day, right? I'll in my mind, I'm measuring and I'm trying to be more organic on how I eat. Like, as in, like, I'm not sitting there constantly tracking every calorie. I'm not tracking every single dollar in and out because I want a nice ebb and flow financially. I'm not financially irresponsible, but I'm not to the point where I can't spend it because I need it, right? So so I do believe that it's good to measure, but not to be anal about it, not to be crazy about it.
Got it. I like that. You know why I like that? Because I actually stopped liking setting goals, man. Because I feel, like I used to, I learned like get clear on what you want, long term, and then shop it down into what you want for the year, what you want for this quarter, and then what do you want for this month, what do you want for this week, what are you doing today, right? So I stopped liking setting goals so much. I still like set 90-day targets, but I feel like setting a 90-day target of something that I want to achieve limits me, because I'm like, well, fuck, like now that's what I'm limited to achieve, because that's what I'm setting myself out to achieve.
That's
when
very
in reality, it could be much more.
Alex, that's great. I'll tell you something else with me on something similar. If I do put out a goal, I can get so driven to achieve it that, like you said, I'm limiting that, but also I cannot enjoy the process. I've done that so many times, I can't tell you. I have literally, to get a goal, not been happy. I have let go of my happiness to achieve. And that's unhealthy.
Yeah. Well, Adam, thank you very much, man. I love this chat that I had with you, and I had a lot of fun. And if anyone else listening, they thought like, oh, this was different. Like, I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I love this guy. And they want to know more about you, more about your content, the Hero Project, everything that you got going on. Where would be the best place to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I made everything very simple. So it's Adam Jablin on Facebook, Adam Jablin on Instagram, Adam Jablin on LinkedIn. We're starting a YouTube page. We're starting the Hero Project podcast in a few months. The Hero Project book will be coming out soon. So I tried to make everything very easy to find.
Got it. Awesome. So Adam Jablin, we'll make sure to put all of your socials to everywhere this appears, man. Thank you very much. I've had a lot of fun, Adam, and I'll see you later, man.
Alex, good job, bro. I'm really, for 21 years old, everything you went through and everything you told me, I'm really proud of you, man. You should be. I'm letting you know, your father and mother are probably very, very proud.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I do feel proud of myself. Thank you.
You should.
You should. Thank you, man. And I'll see you later.
God bless, pal.
Thank you for watching the Gentleman's Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms